Hey folks, and welcome back here to Flexline Productions as we continue to bring you coverage of the 31st Annual City of Mobile Championships. If you haven't watched the front line already, what the heck are you doing? Go over there and watch that and like and subscribe here. We're bringing you the back nine coverage brought to you by Semerád Pharmacy as we're with our feature card. On the back half of the Admiral, I am Dustin Mouret, and with me is one of our local pros again, JC Rohe. How's it going, sir?
It's going great, man. Looking to watch some great golf here. As we've got Jakub, Clay, Silas, and Matt. Doing pretty decent on our front nine. Everybody's under par. You know, we'll see probably some more teeth on the back nine.
Yeah, definitely things do get tougher here on this Hawk design as we get into hole number 10.
Hole 10, par 3, 311 feet. A lot of danger on the left side here. Most players are going to be throwing backhand hyzers at this, trying not to filter too far down and give themselves an obstructed putt.
Come back.
And Matt hangs it out wide right, which is the safer option, but just doesn't quite get the fade back to the green that he wanted. Inside left is probably the worst miss you could have. It really makes things difficult, but the other mistake people make is that one, just carrying too straight. Maybe a similar mistake here from Jakub.
Yeah, as you saw in the front nine, that disc is really overstable, so you kind of pulled over on it. It's going to be in the rough there up the top.
And again, if you're just joining us in the front nine, still got some, windy conditions, also some on and off rain, so definitely our players battling the elements on top of the course. This looks inside, actually.
Yeah, right. You're good. You got plenty of sticky stuff right there.
Yeah, and that filters down. That's going to be pretty obstructed. Maybe a crepe myrtle in the way, some twigs in his bag.
Now we get to junior world champion Silas Williams. This looks like a really good shape, actually.
Sneaks just before that rough that M.A.D.G.A and Jakub hit. So that'll be a circle's edge look there.
M.A.D.G.A having to go with a little Annie spinner, giving it a slight run, but mostly just getting out of there and getting himself in position for par. Okay. I believe this is Jakub in the wilderness.
Yeah, maybe he has a little window there, but not enough to really give it a bid.
Here's Clay from a knee on the left side rough. But gets it done. What a beautiful putt from Clay Edwards.
Yeah, he didn't really show how difficult that putt actually is. That's a really tough putt there.
Yeah, he's been playing really well. Here's Silas for birdie, trying to make up some ground. And puts it in confidently. And kind of had a roller coaster ride in the front nine. He had some success, had a couple of little mishaps here and there, but still very much in the mix.
Yeah. Get a solid par putt there from Jakub, and Matt looking to do the same here.
Indeed, this should be putting the finishing touches on hole number 10, and once we leave here, we'll be seeing our second change to the layout for this tournament. We saw one on hole 8 on the front nine, but hole 11 provides a new challenge for our players this year at the Admiral.
Yeah, it definitely entices the players more to go for the basket here. Hole 11, normally playing as a par 4 from the blues. We moved it up to the white tee as a par 3, 405 feet downhill. It should be a pretty routine shot for these guys, but there is that distance control with the OB water maybe 20 foot in front of the basket.
Yeah, everyone has the distance to make it to the basket, no doubt about it. The question will be is, do you push it too deep into the woods, or do you try to limit your distance a bit and you wind up coming up a touch short?
Go. Go.
Play has laced this one.
Atta boy.
A little too far on the ground action, but still solid.
Yeah, it'll be unobstructed, but he'll have that water right behind the basket, and definitely he'll have a decision to make. For sure.
And I personally really like this change. Again, in the past, you'd play from the blue tee. It was usually just some kind of layup putter shot. Then you'd cross on your second shot and just take your birdie. Very rarely did you see people try to attack the basket off the tee. But now, you have a challenging par 3.
Yeah, I agree. I do like this change here. Not too much of a fan of the one on hole 8, but this one definitely adds a little character to the course.
Oh, definitely over.
I will miss my eagles from the red tee. That's only like a 300-foot shot.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
definitely
man,
not a par 4.
don't be hating on my eagles, okay?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily a fan of skill-based par, but I'm sure
with
you are.
Nah, I don't count it as an eagle, personally, in my heart when I do it. As Matty-O is in the woods,
Yeah,
and that could be worse than being in the water, honestly.
Yeah, he was calling for it to hit something, and it did, and it kicked further deep, so that's not going to be fun. Yaku going with more of a lower, just straight hyzer.
Cuba, Cuba, Cuba.
It's really about the best you can hope for, I feel like, with how fast the green is. Really
Right.
well done.
His putt will be going away from the water and everything as well.
Oh, this is a yikes. This is bogey town, unless you can find a detour out of it.
Yeah, how's your boy?
Matty-O, liking it.
I didn't think I had it.
Liking it a lot. That's a really good play from there. Most players are taking, like you said, bogey or worse.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one. As Clay just a little wide on that birdie putt, so we'll have to settle for par on this one. Here's Silas for birdie from the corner. Does have to go to a straddle stance. Gets it done, though. He is fighting back with a vengeance right now to kick off this back nine.
Yeah, that's a turkey for him if you go all the way back to our front 9 coverage.
Yep. So he has put himself within a stroke of Matt and Clay now after being a little bit behind early on.
Yakub here looking to do the same.
Just a little low out the hand. And that's tough considering how good his drive was to let that one slip through the fingers.
Right, to have the best drive out of the group and still not able to capitalize on the score.
Meanwhile, Matty-O, a beautiful par save after going a little bit awry off the tee, wiping the sweat off the brow on that one.
Yeah, I don't think the camera does it justice on how good that upshot was.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. He was like essentially on the path the whole 14's tee.
He was behind hole 14's tee, which is more rough.
Yeah. As you'll see later, as our card cleans it up and heads on to 12.
Yeah, hole 12, one of the shorter par 3s out here at 227 feet, tight gap, slight hyzers to this turtleback green. It can get really fast as you're coming into the green.
Very pretty hole though. Although you do hate seeing that. Just a touch to the right. Yeah, aesthetically a very pretty green if you can get to it.
Play here, looking like it's another bird shot for him. Sneaks inside of that last pine tree, gets up there for a pretty good look.
Oh yeah, he's definitely already tasting the birdie with that tee shot. Matty-O looking like he's gonna go harp here.
Yeah, opting for more of a flex here with that disc choice.
Yep.
Doesn't quite get over on it, but sneaks through.
I do that every year on the song tournament. I know, that's what I was talking about.
See what Yakub could do here. Everyone's like just barely missing that right side, but still sneaking through. It's kind of wild. Though Yakub goes pretty deep there, actually.
Yeah, he barely missed the basket there.
It's the second time, by the way. If you remember on hole 6, he almost had an eagle throw in. Nice jump putt approach there from Silas to save par. And yeah, Yakub's way back here, and he doesn't want anything to do with it.
He just pitches up to the base of the basket. Fortunately, losing a stroke to possibly Clay and Matt here, as they're pretty close.
Yeah, again, with it being that turtle back green, if you let loose on a putt from range and miss it, you could be looking at a long comebacker, so can't blame him for laying up. As Clay will claim birdie after a great tee shot. Hashtag Bird Gang. Or Berg-X. I don't know. Could be one or the other. Matteo puts the judge in the chains for his birdie. Keep it up with Clay. 6 under par. Silas will clean up. We'll move on to hole 13. This coverage is brought to you by Saraland Pharmacy, one of the biggest disc golf stores in southern Alabama. They have a wide variety of new and used equipment, so they can definitely take care of all of your disc golf needs. Be sure to check them out.
Hole 13, another par 3 out here, left to right, pushing shot. You'll have this water trail in the middle that plays casual, but most players are gonna just try to throw a forehand down here, get a little skip into the green.
Yeah, Godspeed if you're throwing a backhand turnover on this hole as a righty player. I respect you. A little overturned on the forehand though here from Clay, but still fights through to a spot to have a long stab at it or at least save par.
Yeah, you were mentioning the backhand as Matt pushes it a little straight, gets a kick, that's there.
Yeah, he's got a putt.
I played with Ezra Robinson in this event.
Okay.
Throws a backhand, pures it.
Not surprised to hear Ezra Robinson able to do that, as he's that dude's been on the come up the last couple of years. Like maybe Isaac kind of overshadowed him with the Worlds win, but like Ezra is nasty, and I'm gonna predict we will see him soon on coverage.
So Yaku going back to this. I don't know, what would you call it? I mean, it looks like Simon's old PD.
I don't know what this is. The best guess I have is either
A Justice or an Anvil?
no. I feel like it's faster. I mean, it could be a Harp, but it could also be like a Pioneer, which is like a 9-speed from Latitude.
Okay.
I don't know. Either way, he is throwing that about 80% of the time, I feel like, off the tee at this tournament.
And it's worked for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He needs to just grab it on every hole.
Yeah.
This Clay just kind of gives it a little half bid there.
Man, Matt actually didn't do too shabby off the tee here. Little stepper putt and puts it in. As he's usually good for those. Very strong putter.
Yeah, when he's got those dialed in, it can be dangerous for the competitors.
Silas will can a birdie as well. Again, doing really well in this back nine to fight back up the leaderboard. As this is Yakub for birdie after probably having the best shot off the tee of the group. That'll do.
Yeah, Clay, unfortunately, here losing one to the card, but he's still got some games, so still a lot of holes left. Moves us into hole 14, probably the toughest par 4 out here at only 598 feet. Players have to pick a gap, either pushing deep or going as the drone flies here inside early. Throwing a forehand on the second shot is most likely your only option, as you want to get up and around the trees on around the green.
Yeah, I would say this is definitely a top 3 difficult hole on the course. There's just so much you have to navigate to get to the green. As M.A.D.G.A going with the tartar sauce, a.k.a. the Orbit Grace, as he nearly gracefully fell off the tee, but he's good. As a forehand is like a really common option in this hole, but backhand turnover on a flex can definitely also work.
Yeah, I like the backhand here because if you were able to get it to turn, it'll go further right than a forehand typically will.
A mash there from Silas.
Yeah, he might be a little bit in between the 2 gaps that are deep, but should still have a look.
Yeah, again, this is a very difficult hole to birdie. You feel really good about par on this one. As Yacoub goes for the forehand, a little pulled over left, but fights up there.
Another thing with the forehand, you have those trees just to the right there, and that can definitely get in your head. As you see, both Clay and Yacoub are on the farthest left side of the tee box. So,
yeah. And again, you just want to, you kind of want to play towards the left-hand side, but just not flip it over too much and pull it too straight. Great correction from Clay after having a little bit of a fumble on the forehand on the last tee, but kind of some weird ground action there. But
yeah, he landed in a ditch, kicked off the bridge, and is going to have probably some awkward footing.
Yep, and this is Yacoub, who's basically right behind the red tee, I think?
Yeah.
Forehand roller.
Progresses up the fairway a decent bit.
Well, there's a lane here for Clay, actually, on the left-hand side. Maybe some type of crazy hyzer flip forehand could get the job done here.
Yeah, and he's not going to really have any footing to get a run up here, so.
Yeah. Wonder if he's going like something understable on hyzer, like maybe a Lutz or something like that. No, the stall is kind of the other popular 9-speed, but that's a little more overstable. Oh my goodness.
That's so good, bud.
I took the words right out of my mouth. That is so good. Holy cow. What a shot. That might be the shot of the round so far, honestly.
Yeah, that's definitely up there.
Wow.
Oh!
Matt kind of
Didn't like it.
Didn't get enough flex on it there, and yeah, as you mentioned, he did not like it.
Could still probably par from there. But, yeah, birdie's off the board. Silas trying to see if he can throw some kind of anti-flex forehand here.
It's a decent move on there. It's just a little nose up, so it doesn't quite have the distance to get to the basket, but still should be a look.
He's got a long stab at it, and again, he's definitely made sure he secured par, which for this hole is still really good.
Nice shot.
As Yacoub throwing a great shot there.
It's just like the M.A.D.G.A. It looks really cool, but it's...
Our car actually, on average, handled this hole pretty well.
Right, Matt, fortunate enough to not be in the rough, fought through enough. A little bit too much distance to probably give it a run with as contested as it was.
Looks like there's a little gap here for Sauce to fit a stepper. Seen him in a couple of these this 9. It's not quite.
A little outside of his range there, maybe with that. Comes out a little nose up as well.
Yacoub to save par. As he has worked hard for a couple of pars on this round, so you got to give him props for limiting damage after a couple of mishaps here and there.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I think back to hole 7 was probably the big one. That was a crazy par save. But again, getting par 14, really good.
Say hole 3 as well, if you even think of that.
Yeah. It looks like everyone's going to par this hole for this feature card, which is probably one of the best average scores for a card that you're going to see on this hole.
Yeah, I'd say it's like almost getting like a half a birdie there.
Yeah, it's usually at least one person on the card's going to have a tough hole and take a bogey on this thing or something, but no, everyone handled this hole well.
Matt cleans up par there as well. Move us into hole 15. Probably one of the easier par 4s on the course at only 540 feet. 2 options off the tee, forehand or backhand. You want to get to at least this position right here. Pushing a little deeper will give you a little easier upshot into this downhill green. But really just hit the gap with the right shape. I believe that's the definition of this.
I was about to say, you heard it here first. Open quote from J.C. Rowe, hit the gap with the right shape, end quote. That is how the game is played. You might want to add with the appropriate power in there if you wanted to get real technical, but yeah, otherwise I think you're good.
Matthew, be nice.
It wasn't. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just stays on that right side.
This shot looking good from Silas, as well as his recovery on the tee box.
Very good.
Yeah, just a little left, but he should still have a step out forehand on that left gap.
Yeah. Oh.
Who's looking to save another par here, probably.
It's going to be a tough one. He is well pinched off. And now just kind of playing zigzag golf, but still should be able to get up and down from there for par.
So Clay, he showcased his forehand power on the last hole. He actually has the power to get to the basket here.
Yeah, bud.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, bud. Great shot, dude.
This guy's forehand's been fantastic.
Yeah.
He had that one little misfire on hole 13 off the tee, but other than that, he has looked so crisp.
Matt really having nothing to do here but pitch out. Catches that last tree, but is still in a good position to get up and down.
And Yakub has this hyzer line to the center of the fairway to get up and down for his par.
Looks a little inside.
Yeah, you're right. Does get caught up there, so going to have a long putt. And now you can hear the rain is starting to come down a little bit here on our players as they finish off this round. Just a little too much ante on that one from Silas. So he'll be settling for par as well, it looks like.
Hey.
Oh, what a horrible kick. Well, leaving himself a tester there, JC.
Yeah, and with this weather coming in, it's going to be even more difficult than usual.
Got it.
Clay did well, though. Shouldn't have too much left to work for on that one. Meanwhile, good meat left on the bone for this one for Jakub.
Down. Boom.
Oh my goodness, he gets it though. What the fuck? This guy is a par saving machine.
60-foot downhill, no problem.
Listen, it doesn't matter where you put him on the course. Just tell him it's for a par save and it's going in.
Nice putt.
Wow. He's been impressive.
Matt not really going to have that option there. Just pitches up from the woods. That'll be his first blemish on the scorecard.
Yeah, you're right. He had a clean card up until this point. It'll be a bogey though. The Chickasaw bogey.
Yeah, bud.
As Clay Edwards getting a little bit of everything in the basket there, but let's get it in.
Good little elevator putt there. And that will put him ahead of Matt also.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh,
That was Just unfortunately not able to get the elevator to go down.
Nope, out of service. As he will. Oh, well, good recovery though, at least at the footing. He's doing well in that regard. Just a couple holes left to go here on our opening round. This coverage is brought to you by Semerád Pharmacy, one of the biggest disc golf stores in southern Alabama. They have a wide variety of new and used equipment, so they can definitely take care of all of your disc golf needs. Be sure to check them out.
Hole 16, probably the easiest hole on the back nine. Probably the easiest hole in the course, honestly. 260 feet, you got a tight gap right off the tee, kind of similar to hole 2, opens up, but this one is a little more straight.
Yeah, I would agree on this layout. This is probably the easiest hole on the course. The only other hole I might put up there is like 12, but it's probably still easier.
Hey, Blake. Thanks. Let's go. Thanks.
Good shot there from Clay.
Just a little right there.
Yep.
There's a cluster of trees. He should still have a look.
Yeah. Could have even gotten lucky and filtered through, honestly. It's definitely possible. I would say missing right on those holes way better than missing left. Or you could just throw it dead straight like this, and then you don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, bunny hopping over Clay's disc there, and that'll be a tap in.
Absolutely. I'll put him back to 7 under par. Clay has a chance to go 8 under. Match his pace from the flex start that got him here.
Salas missing left.
Yeah, just a touch too much fade and a little bit of a tree kick, but still has a little bit of a look. But this is tough for his like little slight hyzer putt. Really would need to probably put a touch of ante on this to have a chance to get around this pine. And yeah, that's just a tough for his type of angle putt. Hammers in the par though, no problem. Keeps himself in the hunt.
Jakub did filter through, as you mentioned, and pretty fortunate there to only have, what, about a 15-footer.
Yeah, nice birdie there for Semerád. Matty will find his birdie, get him back to 7 under. So we're going to have that classic par 3, par 4, par 5 finish to a Houck design here on 17.
Right, 676 feet. Most players are probably going to opt for the left gap, trying to blast as far as they can up to get as close to this wall of pine trees that we're passing to make their upshot easier. Some players may opt for a hyzer, but you really just, the name of this hole is to get distance off the tee.
Yep, and in these conditions, that's going to be more difficult. And we are going to see that left side play from Clay.
Yeah, boy.
That one slips a little early, but flips up nicely, and slides in pretty good there.
Yeah. Another pretty difficult hole to birdie, just because even if you do have a good tee shot, that line of trees you were talking about can sometimes make your second shot a little tough. As Jakub kind of plays a weird flex up the middle.
And definitely getting away with one there. I don't think that was his intended route.
See if Matty is going to look to go for that similar left side or not. Again, occasionally see players take the right-hand side. It's something like a little less stable on hyzer. Nope, Matt will go left. He is playing that flex as well.
Yeah, just a little too much flex there.
It's like Sauce is lining up right-hand side, actually.
Yeah, he's definitely way more comfortable with a hyzer shot.
Nothing wrong with that.
Good shot.
That's over here pretty close to 16's tee box. Plays just a little super skipper forehand.
You need help out of there, son?
And framed up for Clay is another opportunity for a highlight forehand.
Yeah, bud.
And I mean,
Yeah, bud. Go, Clay.
that was really good.
Go.
Getting a bunch of distance, yeah. Just that standstill forehand. He's got the power.
Absolutely. See what Silas can do here.
Yeah, he didn't quite get left enough to have a straight look at it, but this turnover flip shot is pretty good. It looked like it hit a tree last minute though.
Yeah, again, that is a really tight wall to get through on your second shot, but he managed to make some good progress. Yakub, though, in a tough spot here.
Trying to progress as far as he can.
Not that too shabby.
Yeah, given the circumstances.
There's Matt throwing 3. Needs a clean shot here to save par, but he's in a pretty good lane to do it. Is that inside? Looked inside.
A little, yeah, hits that last guardian tree there.
Yeah, definitely was looking to put that a little bit wider. It's going to be a tester putt. Yakub, though, getting up there, as it seems like the only guarantees are death taxes and Yakub saving par.
Silas, unfortunately, just having to pitch up. He'll have a pretty easy par look, though.
Not a bad bid.
Yeah, considering that, I mean, standstill forehand from a little early to get right there for that.
Yeah, again, Clay was not a player I knew too much about coming into this tournament, but as I've watched the coverage, he's definitely impressed me. Really strong player. This is Matt looking to save par. A little work left to do here. But a pure spinner right into the heart of the chains. And that will keep him at 7 under par.
Yeah, as these players clean up, you can see the backup on hole 18. As you mentioned earlier, it's a par 5. I believe at this point there's probably a 2 or 3 card backup there. So not only are the conditions bad, but you're also going to have to wait and get a little cold as you're trying to line up that daunting tee shot.
Yeah, 18 is no joke. Probably the hardest hole on the course.
I bet you could pars it, at least.
It's safe money right now.
As we give you a look at hole 18, 894 feet. Most players are probably going to try to blast it as straight as possible. Some may try to filter out left over here to hit this gap from the red tee. Players are probably going to try to get to this point right here, not really trying to fight too far left to give a routine look for birdie, ideally.
Yeah, conveniently placed tree right in the middle of the fairway here. It's going to give our players a little bit of a initial challenge right away.
Yeah, boy.
But Clay handles it nicely.
Go. Come on.
And so he filters out left, possibly over by the red tee, hopefully not in the little cluster of trees right in the middle.
Yakub getting up there as well. Right on next to that red tee. Which, from the red tee, you have to hit a pretty tight gap kind of on the left side of the fairway to make progress, which we'll see in a second. As we got M.A.D.G.A here, distance driver in hand, looking to get aggressive here. That'll do.
Yeah, just a little inside as well. Not quite getting enough of a move on it, but should be able to pitch out and around.
If you want to see a fun shot, actually go watch M.A.D.G.A throw this hole last year's City of Mobile Championships. It's on this FlexLine channel. He threw perhaps the craziest second shot I've ever seen on this hole with that disc, actually. Silas is going to get caught up a little bit early there with that tree kick, but not too bad. He's right next to the red tee. This is that small left gap I was talking about that he's going to have to hit.
Yeah, look, going back in here is a little aggressive. And
Not enough turn.
just unfortunately, with the footing and everything, with the pine straw there, his run-up was a little more inside than usual.
Clay trying to hit that same gap, and he will do so successfully. Well, at least initially. Going to get a little bit of a kick, though, at the end, but...
Favorable kick, favorable skip after the fact.
So lucky.
Matt has this little window here.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's M.A.D.G.A over there. That's a steal turn from Matt. Another forehand roller. This is like his third, I think, of the round.
Yeah.
This is looking good. What the heck?
I think it's just holding straight.
Dude. What? That's so good. That's just so good.
Shot.
He might get better than par. This might be his chance to grab the birdie on it. One of the hardest holes to birdie on the course, if not the hardest. Oh no.
Yeah, not getting out of the gap there almost guarantees at least a bogey from Matt.
Yeah, Matt's had such a good round up until this point, but it looks like he's about to take some damage on this one.
And then Silas trying to go with a little chop forehand there, and it catches some cabbage coming out. He's going to have a tough look for par, or to get a par.
When Matt doesn't make much progress from that shot either, so I mean, now double is in play, and he could get knocked back down to 5 under par.
Silas a little inside there.
Yep, this hole certainly showing you how difficult it can be.
Clay looking to take advantage of the fortunate kick he got. And
Nice shot.
that'd be a
For
good look.
birdie?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Don't see that too often. Here's a Cube throwing his third shot. He has to look at birdie as well from circle 2.
Matt just looking to right the ship here. That's a
Wow,
decent
too
move
much.
on that. Yeah.
Nice shot, though.
Silas living a little, I mean, it's inside the circle, but you'd like to walk away with just a tap in from that distance.
Sure. Here's Yakub for birdie. Ah, left side chains.
Par it is.
This is Matt, I think, for bogey. Long putt, though. And that's going to be a double-double animal style.
Yeah, just didn't quite give it the beans there.
So that's going to knock him down to 5 under. And that might be now sending him off of coverage for round 2, which might be the first time we've seen Matt not on coverage in a City Mobile broadcast. So, man.
Yeah, our second round's out at Muni, though, and it's a walk in the park for him, no pun intended.
So I see what you did there. So we got Silas here. Believe this is a bogey putt.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to make sure that he knocks this one in. Like I said, he left a little bit, enough to be a tester after a bad hole. You don't really want this putt.
Actually, yeah, that was for bogey. So he'll finish around 3 under par, but still very much in the mix. I feel like in these conditions you probably didn't see too many double-digit under par scores. Although in good conditions you can sometimes see people score like 12 under or so.
Yeah, well, with the changes to 11 and
That also made it
8.
harder.
Yeah.
So maybe more like between 8 and 10 would be kind of expected for top scorers, as we are going to wrap things up here for our first round with our feature card at the Admiral. We'll be back to this course for the final round, but we'll be heading to Langham Municipal Park for round number 2. But before we get there, we'll take a last look at the scores from this round. As you're going to see, Clay shoots a 9 under par. That should keep him on the lead card. M.A.D.G.A, Jakub Semerád, and Silas Williams may be on chase or something along those lines. But I am Dustin Mouret. With me is JC Rohe, and we will catch you in round number 2 here at Flexline Productions. Like and subscribe, and see you there soon.